Welcome back to another edition of the Course Creation Incubator Podcast. I'm your host, Gina Onativia, here to get you excited about your course creation, your marketing, and building up the course-based business of your dreams. And today I'm excited because we're wrapping up our series. That's right, we're on to part 3 of our Creating a Course That Converts series. We've talked about knowing who you are and who you want to serve. We talked about building an audience of buyers and not just tire kickers and freebie getters. Now we're going to talk about probably my favorite part of the puzzle, which is creating a juicy offer that your people just cannot resist. Because if you know who you're representing, you know the passionate corner that you want to serve, and you've built them up, and you've told them your program is coming, now it's time to build that outstanding offer. By the way, I've made so many bad offers over the years. It's mostly low ticket offers that just did not work. But I put out some bombs, some real bombs out there. And I want you to learn from my mistakes. We're going to talk about that a little bit in this episode. And I've definitely learned what's the sweet spot for making offers in the online marketing space. And by the way, this is why it's so important that we validate. That's why it's the first step. It's the pre-work. It's not even the first step. It's the pre-step, right? Pre-work of the 6-week accelerator. Because you really need to know what people want from you and what they're willing to buy versus what you want to put out to the world. So that's part of what we're going to talk about today. These 3 steps of creating a juicy offer that they simply cannot refuse. So starting with step 1, stop doing all the things, first of all, without an offer. Just the idea of you've got to put an offer out there. That's step 1. You've got 20,000 followers on Insta. You've got your weekly content. You're nurturing so much with your Facebook group. You're just loving on them every week. And you've got no way to make money. Does this sound like you? Because I've talked to several of you in the last few weeks. I've talked to one woman. She's so cool. So cool. She's getting all this media coverage and this PR. And I thought, this woman must have an incredible business. But the truth was, she didn't really have a great offer. Here she was, like, in all these magazines, right? And doing all these interviews and no place to really send them. So that breaks my heart. Because if people are following you, if they're reading about you, if they love your story, then you got to give them a way to go deeper with you. And you got to give a way to help you make money so they can see more stories from you, so they can see more content, right? This is what keeps it going for you. So I think if you're listening to my podcast, you're here to make money. There's other podcasts to listen to if you don't want to make money, right? If you want some inspiration or if you want an escape. But we're here to build a business. Because if we're not making money, if we're not making offers, you got a hobby. And we're not here to create a hobby, okay? Again, there's other podcasts to listen to. Like, I would love if you are serious about building your course and your business. That's why you're here. I just talked to a course creator who has an awesome 9-to-5. But he's ready to break through and really own his business. He's got the platform, the audience, the social proof. Guess what he needs? He needs that truly juicy, enticing offer. So I want you to step into your greatness and really own it by making the right offer, making the right invite to your people. All right, so I talked about this in the last episode. If you've been nurturing your people and providing a lot of value, I know you have, it's your responsibility to make an offer and say, take the next step with me. Because again, you're not an expert unless you're making that next step. You have a hobby. Plus, they want the help from you, right? Some people will be fine with your free content, but most are looking for bigger results, and that requires additional support. That's where your course comes in. Like, I love those people who just walk right up to me and say, okay, how do I work with you? Like, great, free content's great, podcast is great, but really, how do I take it deeper with you and you get involved in my own business? Like, I love people who just know that right off the bat. Because if you don't have a way to go deeper, then you're a content creator. You're a freebie creator. So it takes offers and invites to be a course creator and an entrepreneur. I think I'll get off my soapbox now. So if you've been nurturing people, you deserve to ask for the money, by the way. Okay, so you're going to put out an offer. You're going to make an invite to a workshop or a 4-week program, whatever it is, your group coaching program. Okay, you're taking 10 people and doing an intimate group coaching program. Whatever it is, it's right for you. It's not one size fits all with courses, right? As a reminder, we're not all going to put out a signature course that's $9.97. Those days are done. You might put out a 1-day workshop or a 1-hour workshop. Whatever is right for you and your audience. Maybe a $97 workshop. Okay? Maybe you're going to do a little bit of consulting plus a static course. You're going to do some kind of hybrid for $297. Okay? Well, if you're doing consulting, I want a higher price point, but you get where I'm going here. Mix it up and put it on the waitlist page like we talked about last week. Okay? You're going to put out a waitlist to gauge interest. I'll link to the podcast where I talk about the pre-sale, where you're putting up the waitlist. And you're going to put the price on there, by the way. And I know that freaks some of you out because you want people to know how much it costs. Otherwise, you might get more of those tire kickers and those freebie getters, right? You're putting the price on there so you know you have actual buyers who want to invest what it takes for your knowledge. All right, so that's the first thing. You are going to put out an offer. You are going to commit to it. The second step is you're going to start smaller. You might start with what you got. And I rant about this. I'll link to my podcast that I did about starting small or going small. And I'll also link to the podcast I did about using what you've got in terms of your course. So some of you say to me, Gina, I am going to do the course. I have set aside time for the next 6 months to put out my masterpiece. And I love when you guys say this because I think this is commitment. And I love commitment. I love people who take action. But I also think that's great. 6 months, a lot can happen in 6 months. Momentum can stop. Life gets in the way. You never know what's going to be thrown at you. What can we get done in 6 weeks? Right? My 6-week accelerator or working another program. What do you got that you can repurpose and get out to market quicker? That's what I want you to think about. And then you could still do the masterpiece in 6 months. You could still have that offer ready to go. But meanwhile, you're getting your audience engaged. You're getting them to make the purchase in order to nurture them to the next sale. Okay? So think about putting it out there, testing the waters. Andrea was on the podcast. This was a few podcasts ago. We did a coaching session. And we recorded it months before it actually aired. And then she wrote to me to say that she went out and sold the beta. I think she had 11 students. Then she realized, oh, I can raise the price. She reworked the course and put it out there again. She already has 6 students. And she's building from there. Now, my point in bringing up Andrea is because she went small. She went with what she already had in terms of her painting course. And she went for it. She wasn't just going to talk about it. She put herself out there, and that's half the battle. All right, so that's step 2. So step 1, if you don't have an offer, you're going to put yourself out there. Step 2, how you go smaller, get scrappy. Maybe the step should be how to get a little scrappy and just go for it. Start with where you are and what you have. So what can you get out tomorrow? What can you get out in 6 weeks? By the way, I know a lot of you already have the software. You have Kajabi, you have Wix, you have a way to collect the money. Go for it. What have you got to lose? Why are you purchasing this software and paying for it unless you're going to start generating cash flow with it? Put it out there. All right, the third and final step in this workshop series is to evolve your offer. So Perry Moffmer was on a couple of podcasts ago. He is a client. He is a thought leader. And we're in these great discussions right now because we put out his course in the fall over the summer. And he said to me, I think I overwhelmed my students a little bit. I think there's a different way to approach the course. And now we're going back and saying, okay, who's the audience? What do they really need? What's the delivery on this? What's the price point, right? So it's an evolution. And that is the end game for your course, right? To really figure out what your people want, what they're willing to buy. And we're going through this process with Perry right now. And once you put out your offer, like Andrea, like I just mentioned, so she put it out, she got 11, then she revisited it, she raised the price, and she continues to evolve it. The 6-week accelerator, every time I put it out, it continues to evolve. People are asking me, okay, I need this. What if you added this component, right? And I'm listening and I'm iterating because I know the iteration and the growth and the evolution never ends. So if you've put out an offer already, how are you going to evolve it? If you're about to put out your course offer, how are you going to get the feedback to make it even better next time? How are you going to constantly improve it? Because that's part of being an entrepreneur and part of getting close to the offer so it can be completely irresistible. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed my rants over this 3-part series. And if you haven't listened to those first 2 episodes, please go back, work through the workshops, get it done, take meaningful action. And if a question or a topic came up while you're listening, write to me on Instagram at Course Creation Boutique or LinkedIn, Gina Onativia. And I'd love to know, because I could do an upcoming Q&A episode, or I could open coaching episodes back up, which were so fun to do when I did them a couple of months ago. So I'd love to open those back up. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss one episode. I'll be back next week with an amazing guest. Until next week, go create, be you and be brilliant, and get it done.